Hey guys, so last night chat asked me what I would do to change entropy. And while I have talked about this topic a little bit in the past, since then I feel like my idea about the game, my understanding of the game, and also the game itself has changed quite a bit. So I wanted to show that stream highlight here on the channel today to just, bring it up as a discussion topic. But as always, I stream every single night on twitch.tv/misoxhiru. So join me there starting at 10 p.m. PST every single night. Additionally, I am doing my first 24-hour stream this Saturday, starting at around like 11 to 12 p.m. PST. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. But if I don't see you guys there, hopefully I'll see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, enjoy this. If you could, how would you change entropy? So the way that I would change entropy, right, isn't completely removing entropy, but reworking it. So right now, entropy is very much an all or nothing class, in the sense that if you hit the front or the back, you'll get your full damage. If you hit well, let's say you're a back attacker, right? So if you hit the front or the sides, then you get 0 damage buff from your set. I would say that rather than making it so that you lose all your damage from missing it, I would say that you should miss some of it. So I would make it so like the 2-set bonus is kind of just like more of a... Actually, no, you know what? Yeah, the 2-set bonus would be still the same, but then the 6-set bonus, maybe make it so that it doesn't have to be a front or back attack. Maybe it just is a flat damage increase. That is how I would do it. That way, even if you do miss your front or back attack, it's not as punishing. It still, makes your damage go down, but it's not as bad. Either that, or make it so that, I think Saint described this very well in his description of what he wants entropy to be. He thinks that something like a Pistolier Deadeye is like the really good example of a good entropy design. Even though Pistolier is not a back attack class, it benefits from hitting the back attack. Or, I think the other thing is not a change to the set, but you know how like right now with entropy, you can't, there's a front attack, there's a back attack, and there's a side area where it's not front or back, right? Let's just make it so the front 180 is a front attack, and the back 180 is a back attack. So right now how it works is that if we have a boss, right? Let's say this is the boss. We throw some mean eyes onto this guy, right? Right, that's our boss, right? So that's our raid boss. Right now we have it so that this is, let's say, front attack, right? Front attack, and then this is looking like a witch. Like some Halloween witch. And then we have our back attack. It's like this, right? I think is that the right symbol, or is it flipped? I don't know. Either way, those are the front and back attack indicators, right? And then this area right here, this like gray area right here, is like no man's land. It's not front or back attack. I would love it if they just extended this to be like this. Like, I think this would go a long way. Like, honestly, this would go a long way. Just doing this would go a really long way. Why are we trying to buff entropy? Well, I think what it is like, people are saying that entropy is... How do I say it? It's interesting, right? Because as a fundamental thing, entropy itself, I wouldn't even say entropy's OP, per se. I just think, because before this patch, right, all the strongest classes, a lot of them were hitmasters. Entropy wasn't even that strong. The only reason why entropy right now is considered very strong is because Deathblade is kind of carrying it. But all the other entropy classes aren't like all that powerful, in my opinion. Like, yeah, Slayer is strong, but it's not like... I wouldn't say Slayer has S-tier damage. It's probably A-tier damage. But the one real concern is that entropy itself presents a, I guess, a limitation to raid design, because you have to always build in windows 4 classes to be able to hit front and back attacks. Like, if there's bosses with no pause in their attacks, right? Basically where they stand still, back and front attacks wouldn't be able to hit the back and front. So because of that, you always have to build that in and think about that as a raid design. And I think that's why Smilegate is saying, like, let's get rid of Entropy and get rid of that set. So if they're just getting rid of Entropy completely, then, you know, it is what it is, right? I think it's going to make the game less interesting, to be honest, because I think the Entropy gameplay style is a very interesting style of gameplay. It's challenge. It adds an extra level of challenge that Hitmasters don't have, and you get rewarded for playing the game well. So I do like Entropy in the game. So if they just completely removed it, I think that would be a big mistake, because that is a fundamental design of Lost Ark, and I would think is one of the things that makes the game unique and fun to play. Now, what I think they should do is, like, similar to what Saint said, made it so that it's not like a requirement to hit the back for damage. Like, make it so that it's not like you lose everything when you hit the back, when you don't hit the back. But make it so that it's a nice to have to hit the back. It's like, okay, I hit the side, whatever, it's fine, you know, it's okay. But when you hit the back, then you're like, oh yes, thank goodness I was, you know, like, thank you, I got that little bit of an extra boost. Like, it's kind of like a min-max type of situation, right? Where hitting the side's okay, but if you want to min-max your class and get it to the damage ceiling, you should hit the front and back. What even is this try? Bree. This is a boss. It's a raid boss, okay? And this is the front attack indicator, and this is the back attack indicator, okay? It is what it is. I hope they were removing Entropy's fun. Exactly. That's a boss? Yes. Entropy was strong on a con release because hitting back attacks wasn't that hard. Entropy fell off and on ITV release because back attack and the raids was a pain in the ass. But with Daemon being Entropy friendly raid, Entropy suddenly strong again? I mean, kind of. How did I say, like, because Korea posted a post-Daemon tier list, right? And we built a tier list based off of all of the popular tier lists out there. Now, granted, this is going to be not the most latest balance patch, but it's gonna be relatively okay, I think. The only real big change, I think, is the fact that Deathblades are crazy strong right now. But if we're talking about, like, the previous tier list, right? We can take a look at what the strongest classes are. Of course, I think that since these classes got nerfed, like Hunger Reaper got nerfed, right? We're bringing it down to A tier. Taijutsu Scrapper also got nerfed, bringing it down to A tier. And I think since then, Predator Slayer has been moved down to A tier. If we look at the strongest classes in this game, right? We have Surge Deathblade, obviously, because Surge is kind of ridiculous. Soul Eaters, which I think are also ridiculous, but again, they're not Entropy. Arcana, not Entropy. Soul Fist, not Entropy. We have an Entropy here with Pinnacle Glavier. FI War Dancer, not Entropy. What is this? AT Scouter, not Entropy. Deadeye, not Entropy. This is Entropy. Not Entropy. Not Entropy. I think Deathblow Striker got way too overblown in its strength. I think it's more down to B tier. This is Entropy. Entropy. Not Entropy. Both Entropy. Entropy. So it's like a pretty good spread of both Entropy and non-Entropy classes up here in the top tier, in my opinion. So, and this is post-Daemon, by the way. So even though Daemon is a back attack friendly raid, we can still see up here that for the most part, it's the non-entropy classes that are kind of at the top. And even if it's like a 50-50 split, if it's a entropy non-friendly raid, then the entropy are going to drop even lower. So even though it's an entropy boss, the entropy classes aren't like all at the top. There's a really good mix of both. It'll be like the damage is registered from where your start attack, not when you damage receive. I think that could be a decent change too. I think that could be a decent change as well. I kind of like that idea, Sleepo. I kind of like that idea.